Take a nice deep breath. See, body runs on oxygen. Everything in the body needs energy. When you're thinking too much, you get tired because you're giving the brain the oxygen instead of your heart. Okay? Yeah, breathe in. Greetings, dear, precious, magnificent spirit soul. And in the Vedic teaching of the Bhagavad Gita and such, the spirit soul, us, is called a jiva. I really like that, J-I-V-A. And God within is basically called super soul or Paramatma. Instead of, it's not the source is within us like a battery that you turn off and on. We're part of source. And so therefore wherever we are, God is, because we're with source, our divine being. And then you have individuals who maybe are creating, are creator beings. And may I say, we're either creating from our heart or we're creating from what we've been taught to believe is all that's possible for us that actually limits us. So that's the challenge. Okay, here's my topic. Stay away from psychic sappers and zappers. Sappers and zappers. Stay away from psychic sappers and zappers. And what is this? People who have envy, that means they are infected by the mind virus. Let's call it a mind virus that believes in scarcity. That operates on fear, guilt, greed, miserliness, hatred, anger, revenge, grudges, all that kind of stuff that has to do with that person's concept or belief that they're not enough and they don't have enough and they can't get enough of whatever it is they think they want to have. Okay, so these envious people, and you have to be have your radar on, because they can come around from the back and hit you from the back, or just zap you a little bit, just to knock you off center, just for you to have no faith in yourself, okay? There's all kinds of different sappers. Psychic sappers are always draining your energy for themselves, and that's when they're zapping you. The idea they have is that you have something they want. So when a person doesn't know who they are, they've been programmed to believe in scarce supply and that they're not good enough. And they taught that in school, where you have grades and you're competing against the other little kids in your classroom. So who's going to get the approval of the teacher, all of that kind of thing. When it's not teaching them or assisting them to develop their powers of discernment, intuition, psychic abilities, telepathic abilities, creative abilities, sensing abilities, where they can actually observe something and know how it works, rather than having to memorize what somebody else tells you that may not be true at all. You see, but you're then graded on it, okay? These are zappers. And how they zap you is completely keep knocking you off and ridiculing you, telling you, and they've got whole groups of people who are zappers and sappers, because they're taught to hate you and to hate others. They are taught to fight, humans fight one color against another, but it has nothing to do with that. So these people are zapping and taking the power of these poor souls who want to be part of a group, want to be special, want to get a good grade, want to get the job, want the glorification, the fame, the wealth. What is it? What? And so I want to be a professional basketball player when I grow up, and then I can have a whole lot of money. Well, I'm kind of short for that, but that's okay. Maybe I can grow tall, or they can maybe augment my body and go, I could be 8 feet tall. Maybe stop it. It's so limiting that you're going to be a professional basketball player. Oh, really? This is your life? Dribbling and throwing it in the basket? Oh, it's the money. Is I going to get the money? Then what am I going to do the money? Well, then I'm going to do what I really want. Stop. And take, what would you say? Take an inventory. Okay? So notice the people you're around when you feel empowered. Notice the people you're around when you feel depowered. Notice the people you're around when you can't tell the truth, because if you tell the truth of what you know, they're not going to like you, don't want to be. That's even one of the problems with assisting people. Because oftentimes people don't tell the truth to themselves, so they can't make any progress because they're so busy lying to themselves. When you're doing spiritual therapy, you want to get to the truth of who you are and eliminate your stoppages and your blockages and all of the programming that is zapping and sapping you, because you're the power. And you can have it any way you want it, really. Basically, not that the mind wants, and to be basically a product of successful media mind programming, or however you want it, educational mind programming, and all of this sort of thing. When who you are is whole, complete, and perfect, intact, in the sense of who you are. And no one has more power than you do. And yet, when we get everybody going in the same direction, giving their power all to some one person or another person or another person or another group or another this or that, as if they're then controlling humanity and everything you do and think and speak and feel and have. No. Notice when you feel alive and when you feel dead. Notice when you're inspired and where you're bummed off. What's going on? And then, instead of giving your power to others to determine how you feel, what you do, who you are, and what's possible, don't share with those people. Keep it quiet within yourself and let that build. You see, and inspire and empower you. So when you find you have sappers and zappers, and where they're coming from, and the media that then makes people characters in a sitcom or a horror movie or a spook show or of all of these. Wait a minute. See, we're so susceptible when we want them to like us, when we want to be approved of, when we want to finally someone see who we are and love us enough because we hate ourselves. Quit it. And when you stop all of this, you go, wait a minute. I'm my zapper and sapper. I'm the one who's been draining my energy. What am I afraid of? To be who I am. See, it's time for us to do a little soul searching and to take a stand and build spiritual strength. Because you got to build this spiritual strength now when you're in this body, in this situation, or projecting this situation. Because it's still always you. And you're the greatest work in the world. You are the only value in all of the manifestation is you. And every single real living entity, animal or human-bodied, because we're cut of the same fabric. I love you. Don't zap yourself. Accept the greatness within you and be that. And assist others to do the same. And together, we are doing it.